Hi. Okay, I just finished reading Braineater Jones last night. So that means it's time to talk about it. Yeah, I first heard about that book when the author Stephen Kozeniewski was a guest on the horror show with Brian Keene, which, as I've mentioned before, is one of probably my favorite podcasts. But he talked about it in some of his other books. And I thought this sounded really cool. It's, basically a zombie mashup with a sort of hard-boiled detective kind of thing. And, I'm getting a bit over zombie novels. I always like detective stories mashed up with other genres. Like fantasy, there's a lot of good ones, and cult detectives are pretty good, and science fiction ones I've read some of. I haven't really read all that many horror, so I'm really interested in giving Braineater Jones a chance. And I thought it was actually pretty good. While I read a little bit from the first chapter, and actually this is written in, go to the technical term, but in diary form basically. And the first diary entry is really short, so I'll read all of that and part of the second one.
October 31st, 1934. I woke up dead this morning. Wait, what time is it? After midnight? Shit. It wasn't this morning. Better start over. November 1st, 1934. I woke up dead this morning. Yesterday morning. All Hallows Eve. Whatever you want to consider it. Not dead tired, not dead drunk, dead. Dead. As in no pulse, no breathing, dead as a doornail dead. I've woken up a lot, I assume, and who really thinks about whether they're breathing or not? Who notices their heart's not beating? It's not something you're totally aware of. It took me a while to figure it out. It took me less time to figure out I was stark, bare-ass naked. I guess they did that to me. Whoever killed me, they must have stripped me. I don't know if they wanted my clothes or my money, or maybe they didn't want me to be identified. But if that was the case, then why didn't they smash in my teeth or burn off my fingerprints or cut off my face or something? Who knows? I was relatively whole. Relative being an important part of that first sentence. The first thing I remember is floating face down. When I opened my eyes, I was staring at three beautiful women, and I thought they were angels, and I was dead and floating on clouds. One was white, the second golden, and the third brown. They begged me with their eyes to come to them, and when I tried to reach them, I found water resisting me, pushing my arms back to the surface. They were actually statues, carved from titanic peat and painted in lifelike colors to stand out from the bottom of the swimming pool I was floating in. They craved the touch of something other than the cabana boy who made 85 cents a day scrubbing the algae and grime from their crevices. They sparkled clean, perfect, almost alive. They wanted to reach toward me. I could see it in their eyes, but instead their hands were spread over their breasts, just barely covering up the naughty bits. I thought of the Greek slave and wondered, how the hell do I know what that is?
Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said it was really short. Like two, 3 sentences. If that. And when I got to the second one, I had a hard time stopping because I really like the way this is written. There's some problems here and there in the story, but no story is perfect, really. Even if you pick something that's pretty much a universal 5 stars on Amazon, considered a classic of literature, there's still going to be problems in here and there. Not that this is something I would consider a great classic of literature that deserves 5 stars by everybody on Amazon. It's a good book, but it's not that good. Anyway, the plot basically, is the main character wakes up floating dead in a swimming pool, and he basically spends the rest of the book trying to figure out who he is, because he has no memories, find out who killed him, and solve a bunch of the other mysteries he finds around him. It's basically set in a city called Ganesh City. And basically, in this place, dead people occasionally come back to life for the zombies for reasons that nobody knows. And to keep them from going, they have to drink a lot of alcohol. The problem is that prohibition is still in effect in this city, for zombies at least. Apparently, ordinary people can get a hold of booze no problem. So, that creates a little tension because there's basically only one source of alcohol in town for zombies, and that's a speakeasy run by a fetus in a jar who's called the Old Man and who's a little on the crazy side. Like, there's a lot of weird characters like that. One of the first people the main character meets is a guy called Lazar, who's a bootlegger and sort of is a patron to him, but there's also obviously quite a lot of suspicious mystery stuff because, number one, the name is obviously a reference to Lazarus. So that's clearly not his real name, as he picks up pretty quickly. Despite the fact that he's kind of, main character's a little on the dumb side at times, he also seems to be well informed in other areas. It's weird, but that's the way people are. And, besides them, there's also, he eventually makes friends with a severed head that basically becomes his sidekick for about the last half of the book. And this being a sort of, hard-boiled detective mashup, naturally there's a dame involved. I mean, there's a couple dames, but there's one who becomes a major recurring character. And, there's all kinds of other weird stuff going on in this. It's a nice book, though. I really loved it. In fact, I really like it if you write a sequel to it. I don't think Kozeniewski's, I don't know if he's going to or not. He's written several other books since then, all of which I'm going to have to get around to reading eventually. But this one, I really like it. I love mashups with mysteries combined with other genres. It's always something I've enjoyed. And I still like zombie novels if they're well written. It's just that a lot of them aren't these days because everybody seems to want to write one. Yeah, the only real problems I had, there were a few anachronisms in the book here and there. I think he referred to the main character called his gun a boomstick now and then. And I'm pretty sure that originated about 50 years after where this was set in the Evil Dead movies, but whatever, that's just a minor thing, and hell, I could be wrong, I don't know. I'm not an expert in the history of word origins and stuff. I also thought the ending of this was a little weird, but not really bad weird, just the ending gets really strange. I don't know that that's a bad thing, but some people might not like it. I thought it was a little over the top, but still very good. It's just definitely the kind of book that I could recommend to people who like zombies, and also people who like mysteries, and especially, like I said, the crossover type of things, like the fantasy mysteries or science fiction mysteries, type of stuff. Because I like them, and so I think anybody that likes that kind of stuff would probably like this too. So I'm going to give it 4 gas masks out of 5. So it's a really good book, and you should get yourself a copy from Amazon, I guess, because I don't think you're likely to find it in your local bookstore. And, coming up soon, I will have more reviews. Until then, I'll be reading the books that I'm likely to review, and hopefully you're reading something good too. Bye.
If you like this video, please click subscribe or watch some of my older videos. If you think the book I reviewed sounds interesting, buy a copy. There are always links to the Amazon store in the description for this book and any other books I mentioned. If you have any suggestions on other books I could read, or any other comments, queries, insults, or anything else you want to say, please feel free to mention it in the comments section.